1328, stop.
1328, reporting.
That was the tower controller telling Delta 1328 to stop their takeoff because something that had a 1 in a million chance of happening actually happened. You're about to see what went wrong, how dangerous the situation was, and what's being done to prevent it from happening again. Now, it all started on the ground at Chicago Midway when two aircraft with similar sounding call signs were taxiing and getting ready for takeoff.
Delta 1328, be advised, similar call sign on frequency is Southwest 3828, cross runway 31 center and runway 31 left, taxi via Yankee to 4 right.
Clear to cross 31 center and 31 left, Yankee to 4 right, Delta 1328, will be aware.
All right, Delta 1328 is the red aircraft. Now, right now they're talking to the ground controller who has given them a clearance to taxi to runway 4 right. That's the runway that they're going to plan on taking off from. As you can see on the diagram, there's two runways that they have to cross in order to get there, 31 center and 31 left. However, there's something else the controller said that was very important. Did you notice she said that there's a similar sounding call sign on frequency, and that's Southwest 3828? Now, anytime an airline pilot is taxiing around at an airport, especially a busy one with multiple crossing runways with a lot of traffic that is landing or departing, it's very important for them to pay close attention to the clearance instructions that they're provided. And my wife sometimes asks me, how do you understand all of that? Because a lot of times the controllers talk so fast, it's very difficult to understand them. Now, honestly, a lot of that comes with experience, but the truth is pilots are just listening for their call sign on the radio. As soon as they hear a controller say their call sign, they're going to pay close attention because that instruction is specifically for them. Now, the danger in that is whenever there are similar sounding call signs on frequency. Controllers usually do a pretty good job of letting those aircraft know, hey, there's somebody else with a call sign that sounds very similar to yours. And what that really means to the pilot is, hey, you've got to pay very close attention to make sure that the call sign that the controller read is your call sign and not the other aircraft's call sign. So let's see what happens next.
Southwest 3828, be advised, similar call sign on frequency is Delta 1328. And once you approach 31 right, as you're crossing it, you can switch over to power. Have a good day.
All right, we'll be listening up for that, and we'll switch over to tower to report 31 right, Southwest 320.
Southwest 3828 is the green aircraft, and they've been given clearance to taxi to runway 31 center, and that's the runway they're planning on taking off from. Now, it's not uncommon to have aircraft taking off from different runways, even if those runways intersect, because when the winds are light and favorable, a tower controller can do that because it's a very expeditious way to get multiple aircraft off the ground as quick as possible. However, it's important for both the controllers and the pilots to pay very close attention to their radio calls in order to ensure you have the appropriate clearance to take off and all aircraft are appropriately deconflicted. So now you have two aircraft with similar sounding call signs both getting ready to take off at the exact same time using runways that cross each other. Let's find out what happens.
1328 Midway Tower, traffic holding position on the cross runway, traffic on a 4-mile funnel lands at parallel. And traffic here on runway 10 mile funnel for it, line of point.
All right, 1328.
All right, that was a very busy radio call with a lot to digest, so let's break it down. Now, the first part of the radio call is cut off, but you hear him say 1328, so you know it's for Delta 1328. And he says Midway Tower, traffic holding position on a crossing runway. Now, the second part of his radio call, he says traffic on a 4-mile final landing parallel, which is the parallel runway to runway 4 right. And then the third part of his radio call is traffic on a 10-mile final, runway 4 right, line up and wait. So he's telling Delta, hey, you've got another aircraft that is going to be landing on the runway that I'm about to clear you to take off from, but right now I want you to line up and wait on that runway, which means go ahead and pull your aircraft on the runway and get ready to take off. Now let's see what happens next.
28 Midway Tower, runway 31 center, line up and wait, don't plan on stopping.
31 center, line of point, Southwest 3828.
Now that radio call is also clipped at the beginning, so all you hear is the 3828. However, you know it's for Southwest because he's talking about 3828 and he says 31 center. But the second part of his radio call is very important. He says, don't plan on stopping. So what he's saying is Southwest 3828, I need you to go ahead and start moving on the runway, but I'm going to give you a clearance to take off before you bring your aircraft to a stop. Now let's see what happens.
Right, traffic hold position on the cross runway, traffic on a 3-mile funnel off the cross runway, no delay please, turn left heading 250, runway 31 center, cleared for takeoff, the wind 060 at 9er.
All All right, that's another very busy radio call, and the dangerous part is right at the beginning because, again, the radio call is clipped, so you can't hear the call sign at the beginning. So you don't know if this is for Delta 1328 or for Southwest 3828. The only way you're able to know which aircraft it is for is at the end of the radio call when he says clear for takeoff runway 31 center. But as you can tell, what happens is after the tower gives that takeoff clearance, both aircraft, Delta and Southwest, key the mic at the same time because both aircraft assume it's for them. Let's listen to that again and see how the tower handles the situation.
Traffic holds in position on the cross runway. Traffic on a 3-mile funnel for the cross runway. No delay, please. Turn left heading 250. Runway 31 center. Clear for takeoff. The wind 060 at 9er. Two call 1 South 3828. Verify no delay. Left to 250. 31 center. Clear for takeoff.
Takeoff 31 center. No delay. Heading 250 Southwest 3828.
The tower controller does a great job of recognizing that he's got two aircraft talking on the radio at the same time, so he doesn't hear Southwest 3828 acknowledge their takeoff clearance, and that's why he repeats it again. However, this time he's very clear, and you can hear him say the full call sign, Southwest 3828, verify no delay, left to 250, 31 center, cleared for takeoff. So at this point, there should be no question that Southwest 3828 is clear for takeoff runway 31 center. But check out what happens next.
Two call 1 South 3828. Verify no delay. Left to 250. 31 center. Clear for takeoff.
Takeoff 31 center. No delay. Heading 250 Southwest 3828.
28. Stop.
1328. Reporting.
Now, both aircraft actually aborted their takeoff at the same time, and wait till you hear what happens after they get off the runway. In order for this event to even happen, you had to have two aircraft with very similar sounding call signs planning on taking off from the same airport on the same day at approximately the same time, and they had to be on flight plans such that they were going to be taking off from separate runways, and those two runways had to cross. And on top of that, you have radio transmissions that were partially cut off, which resulted in Delta 1328 thinking that they were the ones cleared for takeoff when really it was Southwest 3828. But let's see what happens after they get clear of the runway.
3828?
Gotcha.
Yeah, for Southwest on 31 center, were we the ones cleared for takeoff?
Yes, sir, you were. You were the one, you were doing what you're supposed to be doing.
And Delta took our, Delta was rolling also?
He took your call sign. Somebody kept stepping on you, and I couldn't figure out who it was, and then that's why I reiterated that it was you that I was clearing for takeoff.
Thanks. We just got to run some numbers and contact company.
Roger.
1328, same thing. Got a call company.
Roger.
Now that's a phone call that I never want to have to make. And in order to prevent this from happening again, the best thing a pilot can do is pay very close attention to the clearances that they're given on the radio. And if they ever have any question, they should stop and ask the controller. And if you enjoyed this video, then be sure to check out another one on the channel. And I'll see you next time on Pilot Debrief.